So it's fair to say that Liverpool are not in a good position at the moment. 6th place on the Premier League table, currently 16 points behind Manchester City, and they have just lost to Everton at Anfield for the first time in 22 years. At this rate of losing points, we might even see Big Sam as the Liverpool manager come the end of the season. It is really looking that bad, and that's why, ladies and gentlemen, in today's video, I'll try to answer the question to the best of my ability of what has gone so wrong with Liverpool this season. Why have they fallen so much since last Premier League season? What changes would I make to the squad? And is Jurgen Klopp to blame for their downfall? Because at the moment, Liverpool, horrible form. They have only won 2 out of their last 11 Premier League games, and that is so shocking considering last season there was a stage where they looked like they were going to be unbeaten the entire Premier League season, the new invincible team. Liverpool were the Premier League champions and they have fallen so far, and that's why in today's video, as I said, I'll be talking about what I think needs to happen at Liverpool in order to fix their current situation. Which, of course, ladies and gentlemen, if you do enjoy these football opinion type videos, please do consider subscribing to this channel as we are really pushing for 900 subscribers. So I'd really appreciate the push, the support to reach 900 subscribers. If you don't necessarily always have to agree with all my opinions in all of my videos, but it is always nice to see someone else's opinion on the matter. Now, looking at Liverpool versus Everton, there was just no element about their game that I would say looked better than Everton's. And now the question is that people will want to ask me is, what is the main problem at Liverpool this season? And I think Arsene Wenger really did hit the nail on the head when he said it's the fact that they are missing their best defenders through injury. Because think about it, no Gomez, no Matip, no Virgil van Dijk, and a bunch of other defenders in the central position. So because of that, they've had to bring Henderson and they've had to bring Fabinho and move them to defense. Now, not only is that a weaker defense, but that's a weaker midfield because you've taken your best players from the midfield and moved them back. Therefore, your ball-winning midfielders are now out of position. Now, of course, that results in just the whole team working out of shape. It is not the team that Jurgen Klopp built. And of course, that does answer the question of, do I think Jurgen Klopp is to blame for Liverpool's current form? Well, to an extent, yes, I think every manager is the cause of a downfall to a team, but not 100% in this situation. I've genuinely seen people say on social media that Jurgen Klopp should be sacked. I mean, excuse me, I want to see you as the manager of Liverpool when your Ballon d'Or nominated centre-back is injured and you have to play everyone out of position. I do think there are some changes that Jurgen Klopp could have made. I think maybe a better centre-back he could have brought in through the transfer window, but of course he didn't want to spend all his budget, which I completely understand. But at the end of the day, the injuries at Liverpool have been their major downfall. Because as I said, you move your midfielders out of position, you don't have your best defenders in the central positions. And there's one point that I think Arsene Wenger missed when he mentioned that is the fact that his fullbacks, Trent Alexander-Arnold and Robertson, have also had to adapt their style of play. Over the last 2-3 years, they've been known to be the perfect modern day fullbacks, creating chances, going up forward and supplying balls into the box. But at the end of the day, now that there aren't any proper centre-backs at Liverpool, they've had to compensate in terms of their defensive abilities and come back and defend more. So because of that, the attackers are receiving less crosses into the box up front. And as I said earlier, this whole Liverpool team has changed around because of that. They've had to change the way that they play, and it is not working at the moment. Now, Liverpool, their next game, look, they've got a bunch of easy games coming towards the end of the Premier League season. We've got about a third of the season left. But versus Sheffield United, I'm not even sure that Liverpool are guaranteed a win there, where previously I'd give them a 4 or 5-0 win in my prediction videos, where if you look at Sheffield United, they've at least won 3 out of their last 11 Premier League games, where Liverpool have only won 2. I don't know what it is about Liverpool because yes, they are struggling with injuries, but at the end of the day, they do still have a really high quality team. And I've heard a lot of people say that, which I totally agree to this extent of why Liverpool are having problems, is Liverpool haven't made many changes since their Champions League victory, which, yes, I understand why Liverpool haven't. I mean, you win the Champions League, you are the best team in the world. But at the end of the day, it is the exact same team, and I don't find that this team is competitive enough in terms of players that Jurgen Klopp has brought in. I think that we see the same starting 11 pretty much week in, week out, which shows that there really isn't a competitiveness that pushes these players to be more competitive. In terms of the attack, you always know that Mane, Firmino and Salah are going to start up front. In terms of the midfield, that's the only difference really, because they normally just have a variation of midfielders, but normally it is Henderson, Wijnaldum, and then whoever the third choice midfielder is. And defensively, I mean, normally always Trent, Robertson, Virgil van Dijk when he is fit, and then probably Gomez when he is fit, and then Alisson. So that, I think, is the problem. The fact that they are very comfortable with that starting 11. There aren't enough rival players to push every player in each position to be better. I think the closest Jurgen Klopp has gotten to that is by buying Thiago in the midfield. Unfortunately, he has struggled with injuries, and unfortunately, when he's been playing, he has not been that good for Liverpool, unfortunately, which I could have told you in the beginning of the season probably wasn't a very good move. Because I've seen Bayern Munich fans, because obviously working on YouTube, I follow a bunch of social media pages. I've seen Bayern Munich fans of the last 2-3 years say that he has dropped in quality, and at the end of the day, if Liverpool want to really build something special, a strong squad that can last for many years, buying a player who's approaching his 30s or getting to the later ends of his career isn't the best choice. I think this Liverpool team's fantastic. I think Jurgen Klopp's a great manager, but in terms of bringing players in to be more competitive, I'm not sure he's necessarily done the right job there. I think that he needs to create a more attacking style of play just until his centre-backs get back and his full-backs go up forward. In terms of his midfield, he needs more creative midfielders, and what I personally think he should change in the midfield positions is whatever he does in terms of his holding midfielders, whether it be Wijnaldum and Thiago or whatever they go for, I think they should start playing Shaqiri as an attacking midfielder. Because when I see Shaqiri play for Liverpool, no matter where he plays, he is fantastic. He's fast, he's strong, he has got a great eye for targets, he's skillful, got a lot of speed, his vision's great. I think that he would make a great attacking midfielder, and I'll put this out here. If you put a player like Shaqiri in an attacking midfield position, you could see a really good, a combined 15 extra goals per Premier League season through his goals and assists. I think that that would be great. I think they need that attacking outlet just until their fullbacks can play normally. But as I said, I really do blame what has happened defensively for Liverpool this season. And yes, people always say, Finn, you're a Manchester United fan. Aren't you happy that Liverpool are falling so far? Well, look, as a Manchester United fan, if given the opportunity or given the choice, I would say that I would never want Liverpool to win the Premier League ever again. I would rather Manchester City win it compared to them. If I was given the choice to only watch South African football or support Liverpool in the Premier League, I would choose South African football. But at the end of the day, that's not what it's about. Just because I don't support someone doesn't mean that I don't wish for that competitive rivalry to still be there. No, I see lots of Manchester United fans say, I hope Liverpool gets relegated. No, at the end of the day, football is only fun once your rival is strong. I mean, let's be honest, it's just not fun if there's this huge gap in quality between the two teams. So I really hope that Liverpool really does recover. I hope Jurgen Klopp does recover. Obviously, he's also had his personal problems that he has mentioned, and he does talk about the fact that he can separate his personal life from his work life. But I also think that Liverpool should take some responsibility and say, you know what, he's had personal problems, someone in his family has passed away, we're not going to sack you, but you should take 2 to 3 weeks off. I don't know exactly how the protocol for this goes, but that's what I think should happen. So obviously, as I just said, although I am a rival fan, I do hope Liverpool gets back to their strong point so that we can compete in a competitive manner once again. Because Liverpool, let's be honest, they are far out of the Premier League at this point. As I mentioned in the beginning of my video, 16 points behind Manchester City, and Liverpool have played a game more than everyone else. If everything goes in Manchester City's favour this match week, which it probably will, Manchester City will be 19 points ahead of Liverpool. Liverpool at this moment, 6th place on the Premier League table. If they keep dropping at this rate, they look like they could be 7th or 8th come the end of the season. No European football whatsoever, meaning their only real chance this season is Champions League. And let's be honest, if you can't beat teams in the Premier League anymore like Brighton, Fulham, West Brom, which Liverpool have struggled with, you're not going to compete well against the best teams in Europe. Saying that, I don't 100% eliminate Liverpool's chance in the Champions League this season, because there are a lot of underdogs in the Premier League this season, so maybe there's a chance there. But at the end of the day, Liverpool not doing well, the team is lacking confidence. Even Alisson obviously has made a lot of mistakes as of late in the goalkeeper position. This whole team is not looking very strong altogether, and we saw that versus Everton, that the team at the end of the day just looked very mediocre. Nothing's working well, but I do hope that they can recover. So ladies and gentlemen, that is probably going to be it for today's video. I hope you have enjoyed it. As I said, let me know your opinion on the matter. What do you think needs to happen at Liverpool What do you think the main problems have been? Do you think Jurgen Klopp should keep his job? And as I said, guys, please do consider subscribing if you did enjoy the content. Once again, you don't have to agree with my opinion, but it is always nice to see someone else's opinion. And in terms of videos coming up in the next day or two, talking about Jurgen Klopp, a player that he has previously managed, Ilkay Gundogan, currently at Manchester City. I'm busy working on a video where I talk about his story, his career up until this point from youth level. And if you want to see that video, make sure that you subscribe and hit that bell notification to be notified as soon as that video does come out. But guys, this has been Finn, FYNN. Unfortunately, Liverpool, you are walking alone here.